Jake Brigance's toughest case, a time to kill summary. The Mississippi sun beat down on Clanton, baking the red brick courthouse to a simmering heat. It was the kind of heat that settled in your bones, the kind that made tempers flare and secrets sweat. And in the summer of '85, Clanton was simmering with a secret so horrific, so deeply rooted in its past, that the air itself crackled with tension. That secret was the brutal assault on young Tonya Haley. I could see it in the faces of the folks coming and going, the hushed whispers in the Piggly Wiggly, the averted gazes. The air felt thick, heavy with unshed tears and simmering rage. Even the cicadas seemed to chirp a mournful dirge. Tonya, a bright-eyed 10-year-old, had her life irrevocably changed, stolen in an act of unspeakable cruelty. And the men responsible, Billy Ray Cobb and Pete Willard, swaggered with a remorseless arrogance that only fueled the fire. Then, the unthinkable happened. Carl Lee Haley, Tonya's father, a man worn down by the world but radiating a quiet dignity, took justice into his own hands. The sound of gunfire echoed through the square, a sharp, decisive crack that shattered the already fragile peace. Suddenly, Clanton was no longer just simmering. It was boiling. Now the fate of Carl Lee, and perhaps the soul of Clanton, rested on the shoulders of Jake Brigance. Jake, a local attorney, wasn't some slick, high-powered city lawyer. He was one of them, born and bred in Ford County. He knew the land, the people, the unspoken prejudices that ran deeper than the Mississippi River. But defending Carl Lee Haley, in the face of overwhelming public opinion and the ever-present threat of violence, was a gamble that could cost him everything. I watched Jake, his brow furrowed, his jaw tight, as he walked into the courtroom each day. He was a man fighting for his client, yes, but he was also fighting for something more. The very idea of justice in a town struggling to reconcile its past with its present. He had a wife, Carla, a smart and fiercely independent woman who stood by him despite the danger, and a young daughter, Hannah, whose innocence was a constant reminder of what was at stake. The courtroom became a battleground, not just for legal arguments, but for the very heart of Clanton. I saw Lucian Wilbanks, Jake's friend and mentor, a silver-tongued lawyer with a checkered past and a sharp wit, providing much-needed guidance and support. Harry Rex Vonner, another local lawyer, with his laid-back demeanour and his penchant for practical solutions, offered a grounding presence amidst the chaos. The tension was palpable. Burning crosses appeared on lawns, whispers of threats turned into open hostility. The Ku Klux Klan, a malevolent shadow from Clanton's past, reared its ugly head, adding fuel to the already raging fire. Snipers took aim from rooftops, turning the streets into a potential war zone. Jake and his family found themselves living under constant threat, their lives hanging precariously in the balance. Yet, amidst the fear and the hate, I also saw glimpses of hope. I saw the resilience of the Black community, their unwavering support for Carl Lee, their quiet strength in the face of adversity. I saw the conscience of a town wrestling with its demons, struggling to find a path towards redemption. Jake Brigance stood at the centre of it all, a man caught in the crossfire, fighting not just for his client's life, but for his own, and for the very soul of Clanton. He had a monumental task ahead of him, a challenge that could either tear the town apart or force it to confront the darkness that had festered for far too long. The courtroom doors closed each day, sealing the fate of Carl Lee Haley, and, perhaps, the fate of Clanton itself. The question that hung in the humid Mississippi air was this: would justice prevail, or would the ghosts of the past continue to haunt Ford County? And would Jake Brigance survive long enough to see the answer? Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon for more book summaries and insights. Feel free to check out another video or dive into the full playlist you see now for more great book summaries. Click now and keep exploring.